Writing songs is really hard, isn't it? So many times I'm stuck, lacking inspiration.
And you know, at that point, there's not much that I can do.
I can either push through and write a crappy song or accept that I'm a failure. If only I wasn't this lonely, this friendless. I could probably have someone to bounce ideas with and get inspired. But friends are a lot of work. Sometimes you have to sit down and listen to them for hours. I don't want that. That's why I'm constantly looking for new ways to start a song. In the past, I showed you how to steal songs legally. Today, I'm gonna show you how to do something similar and also legal. I think. Please don't arrest me. Today I'll be looking at Output Arcade, a plugin/sample library that has loads of tools and sounds inside it. But first, let me be transparent with you. Output has reached out to me and asked me to do this video, but I've been using Arcade since it came out, so it's not really a problem. I'm not really faking it, you know? The thing is, I've always used Arcade in my pop productions for things I produced for other people. I've never actually thought of it as a tool for me to produce punk rock, my own music. So that's what we're doing today. Can Arcade punk? Let's find out.
The first step was easy. I had an empty session and all I had to do was to open up Arcade in there. The way that I started was really easy because Arcade actually has a really good search feature in it, and all that I do was to search punk in it. And there it was. So now I have some punk things apparently in front of me. It was really easy to actually find some punky drums in there. I found this PM Rock sampler here, and usually in Arcade things are really easy. You have the little buttons here, and all that I do is to press each one and see what I like. That's pretty punky, right there. I then make these little MIDI clips with the parts that I like, and I just name them according to the vibe that I feel they have, so I thought this one sounded like an intro. I thought this one sounded like a verse. This was a cool feel for a build-up. And this was cool for the chorus. Now I can start arranging these and actually making a song structure. I'm gonna keep it simple. This is punk rock, so I'm just gonna have an intro, a riffy bit, a verse, a build to the chorus, a chorus, and an outro. And there we go! We have something in there. We used to have nothing, and now we have something. And when you're making music, something in your session is such a battle won. For sure. Because an empty session is the most daunting thing you can see in front of you. The cool thing is, when I searched for punk, it showed me a bunch of options, right? And in there I also found some guitars and some bass. For guitars I used this Totally Righteous preset here inside Pocket Band. And I used this bass inside the same preset. I like to put them in different tracks just so I have more control when I'm mixing. I could just put them in the same track as two different MIDI notes. Arcade does allow you to do that. But I just like to separate things to kind of mix it in a more traditional way later. And now I have a key for my song, literally and figuratively as well. Inside that same Totally Righteous preset in Arcade, I also found some really cool roomy drums that matched my already existing drums, which was cool because now I had a more punchy kit and a more roomy kit to blend together. So for example, in the calmer bits of my song, I can just have the punchy kit that's a bit drier, and then for the chorus and the explosive bits, I can have the roomy kit together with the other kit to make everything sound larger. You know, when you're working with loops and samples, you can't be afraid to stack things onto each other, you know? If it sounds good to your ears, it's good. Trust yourself. But although Arcade has some punky sounds in it, it's not its specialty, you know? It's not where it thrives. So Output, if you need more punky sounds, please don't feel afraid to contact me. I got you. But I treated that absence of punky sounds not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to make some crazy stuff. And to go into the sounds that are not specifically punk, but still use them in my song and make my song more than punk. Something maybe more fresh and current. For example, I found this little sampler here, and it had some pretty cool little rhythmic sounds in it. And when you put in these sounds along with the drums and the bass, not only makes it much more cooler and more dancey, if that's a word, it also makes the song a little bit more unexpected, I guess, and less traditional punk and something a little bit more juicy. But now it was finally time to start thinking about the most scary parts of writing a song, chords and melodies. But that's when I was surprised by Arcade. I found this weird little vocoder line in there and I stuck it in my song and it just matched. Arcade does have this little cool feature down here that can just lock any line that you play to the key of your song, and it's obviously locked to the BPM as well. So if you're lucky enough and you start trying crazy things, some of these crazy things will work out because everything's in key, theoretically. But as you can hear, that vocoder is not aggressive enough to be the main line of a punk rock song. So what I did was, I just stole it. In plain daylight, I robbed it and I sang it myself. You see, I'm paying for Arcade, so I'm paying for the sample. So what stops me from just singing on top of them? I'm just stacking, right? I'm not stealing. It's fine. I could do that, right? I think I could. I hope I could.
You said that things would never be the same, but now I know that I am not to blame.
So having that, I was golden because I could figure out my chords and I could do the rest of the song much more easily. Then I recorded my own guitars and my own bass in there. You know, just to give a bit of humanity to it and not just use samples, now I have a bit of me in there, in the song. And it really brings things to life.
You said that things would never be the same, but now I know that I am not to blame.
I also added this little verse that I wrote all by myself with no help from samples.
Don't you see that I am calling now? I'm trying so hard to keep my hopes alive. So much that we've been through, I don't know what to do. Sink that feeling, pull it back, don't let it die.
I also found these cool little bell sounds inside the same sampler as the vocoder. And I just stuck it in the second part of my chorus here, because that's a very cool trick. If you have a repetitive chorus, it's always nice to add a new thing each time it goes around. That way the listener is always interested and the chorus gets bigger and bigger. To finish off, I like to bounce everything in place. That way I have audio clips and I can edit them. Just getting there, make a little bit of chop, 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 make some cool fills, some cool reverse bits sometimes, just to make sure everything sounds good together and everything sounds even better than the original sample. Arcade does have these cool little buttons up here that you can also play in your black keys on your keyboard that chops things and stutter things and reverse things and does a bunch of cool rhythmic stuff with your samples. But me, being an old school guy, I like to chop things the old school way. I just enjoy the process of doing it. And this is how the final demo sounds.
Don't you see that I am calling now? I'm trying so hard to keep my hopes alive. So much that we've been through, I don't know what to do. Sink that feeling, pull it back, don't let it die. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? You said that things would never be the same, but now I know that I am not to blame. You said that things would never be the same, but now I know that I am not to blame.
So that's it. I hope this video helped you find new ways to start your future punk rock songs. Thank you, Output, for reaching out to me. I really feel appreciated. And if you like what I do, please press all the buttons around me right now that help me in this world. And I see you all next time. Thank you and bye.